There we go. Hi everybody, Jennifer McCreath, Monday, April 25th, 2022. Just listened to CBC Radio Noon Crosstalk. Haven't done that in a while. They were talking about population growth in Newfoundland and Labrador, and specifically looking at international immigration as a population growth strategy. And you know what? They had a lot of interesting people on there talking. Quite frankly, the issues that came up, the questions and the challenges sound no different than anybody else that might move here and or want to stay here versus not having to leave here. I moved here from the mainland, not an international refugee or immigrant or anything like that, just I found a better job than the one I had in Toronto, so I moved to St. John's. Okay, great. That seemed to be fairly common during the, I guess we'll call it the Danny Williams oil booming era of 2007, 8, 9. Then things kind of changed. Then, all of a sudden, there weren't that many good jobs here. People weren't coming here. People who had come here had to leave. People who are from here were leaving. People who had moved here from other parts of the world were leaving too. One of the guests talked about not having the right skill sets. And you know, I'm gonna put something out there that my parents, shows you the gap between the baby boomers and the Gen X's and the Gen Y's. Back when my parents graduated from high school, college, university, doesn't really matter. There were people lining up with job opportunities. We don't care if you don't have direct, exact experience. We're looking for bright, young, talented people. If you walk out of a school with a certificate or a diploma or a degree, that proves that you got some talent, right? They don't just give those away. You got to earn those. And that's what I see missing here. I see a lot of people with, heck, not just diplomas, but master's degrees, even more. But they won't get hired because they haven't had work experience doing this or that. We seem to be living in a right here, right now mentality. What about bringing in people and learning on the job? I don't care who you are. Nobody can step into a brand new job and know it all. There's going to be a learning curve. Doesn't matter if we're talking about someone at the bottom of the food chain, the middle, or the top. That's the other thing I wanted to bring out, something I tweeted at Adam Walsh. These middle jobs are the ones that have disappeared. I'm a good example of that. I came here and took a job as a senior analyst, so what you'd call a senior business professional. And when I lost that job, I couldn't find another one in that role. And there's no junior or middle analyst jobs. You go right to the very bottom. You're an admin clerical type of person. And that's kind of where I've been for many, 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 many years. There's a lot of talented people with degrees and diplomas working at admin clerical positions. I got nothing against people who only want to be admin clerical people, or for whatever reason they don't feel the need to evolve or grow their career any further, but that's not the case. If you want to talk about bright, talented immigrants, I mean, MUN has done a great job with their international program. Rich parents all over the world are forking out a lot of money to send their kids to MUN. But guess what? They're not going to stay here if the opportunities aren't there. These people don't want to be clerks. They want to be senior analysts. They want to be managers. They want to be executive directors. And if I don't care whether you're international, national, or local, or provincial, or whatever, it's all about jobs. It's about survival. COVID-19 has cost a lot of people jobs. We've seen people lose jobs. We've seen businesses close. We've seen people take pay cuts. We've seen people in the gig economy see their workload, of the amount of hours they can work, go down. I see jobs, I apply to a lot of them. I get screened in sometimes I don't. I'm like, that's a job that I could do. But since I haven't had experience in that specific field, I'm not even getting interviewed. You gotta maybe give a little here. You bring in someone who's anxious to learn and grow, who has transferable skills. Use that word, transferable skills. Is this making any sense? I don't think you need to treat international immigration any differently than anyone else looking for work here. We got to pay the bills, whether it's rent and buying craft dinner and hot dogs like me, or if it's someone doing a little better who has a wife and 5 kids and a house, mortgage to pay, whatever. You go where the money is. Stop making excuses. Start giving people chances. Bring people into your organization. Show them that you value them. They're not just a dead-end job person. I feel that's something that came up as well during Adam Walsh's conversation. People feel less attached or valued by their workplace due to COVID. I guess that's partially because people are working from home. I've only ever been a temporary employee here in Newfoundland with one exception, and when an organization won't even put that permanent stamp on you, there's no way you can feel as though you belong. Even if you called a 1-year temp assignment, you could be out the door tomorrow, as I've found out a couple of times in my role as a provincial civil servant. We have this thing called budgets, and we have another thing called bumping. Just when you think you're safe and secure, you could be gone. So, there's just one example. Why am I still here? 15 years in Newfoundland, 13 years since I lost the job I came here for. Well, can't find a job anywhere else either. But I'm willing to stay for the right opportunity, but at the same time, if there's a good job in Toronto or Vancouver or Alberta, I don't care where it is, I want to do better than what I'm at. I expected more when I walked out of university with a degree than to be an admin clerical person at the bottom of the food chain with no opportunity for growth or advancement. So we don't have to keep trying to reinvent the wheel here. Sure, bring in immigrants. Why not? But let's focus on keeping the people you already have. What good is bringing in 1,000 people if 1,000 people who are already here have to leave? I can't tell you how many friends and co-workers I know from Newfoundland, love Newfoundland, but they moved to Alberta because that's where all the jobs are. Come on, folks. Thanks for listening.